Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to The Evil Within 2. I'm a little surprised I haven't called this game Resident Evil yet. And I'm also a little bit surprised that this game is called The Evil Within, and you don't really fight the evil within the main character. Not really. I mean, we saw at the beginning that he had like um, a he had developed a drinking problem, and that has been completely ignored. None of the enemies that we see around here uh, seem like they have anything to do with us as a character, which kind of defeats like the evil within concept, really. Other than you just are kind of assuming that the general idea is
this must be the passage O'Neill was talking about.
is that there's evil within other people. It would be a nice twist. So we established in the last recording a stabilization field, for lack of a better term, and that seems like that really isn't going to fix any of these broken off sections. I think these blocked off, broken off sections probably are going to be locked for a very long time, if not always. And this game is
Lily?
Still looking for the daughter.
This is messing with my mind.
Alright, what door were we supposed to go through? D5. So, doesn't seem like there's really anything that stops us from doing this. And the wave patterns on these seem to be always the same. And the irony would be to run in here towards this and have something attack you. Is it maybe red gel? Green gel. So we got some green gel, and we got some machine parts, weapon parts, and that was about it. Yeah, unfortunately you can't turn up the difficulty on casual. It is an option otherwise. I really would have liked to have been able to turn it up a long time ago, and because I can't do that, we now are in this situation where it doesn't, the game just feels like it throws far too few enemies at me, and there's just really no challenge. They do seem to kind of constantly have this ability to wander and go in different directions. Like, we kind of know there's something over there, and we kind of know that would blow up. Let's see what's back here. This is probably just another pouch upgrade. Yep. More handgun bullets. I basically have more than enough handgun bullets because the gunpowder is so cheap, as long as you're using a workstation and not randomly crafting things. And that could have been a bit of a hassle in a small area if I had not turned around and seen him. And it seems to me like the turning around and seeing him element. Alright. Let's see what that does. That did nothing. So either there's a zombie over there that can't reach where we are, or didn't hear that. And we could try and stealth all of this, but it doesn't really matter. Just wait until... Alright. These guys seem to be a little stronger. That guy just regenerated his arm. Alright, well, we may have hit a point now where the zombies regenerate, which would bring back an idea. Seemingly, I could have shot the red barrel and killed him. And we might as well just stand up. Like, really does seem fairly silly to even try and do the stealth sections. And we're not going to run into the creepy Japanese girl, I think, at all. I think that is some side section. And we may get ruined by things crawling downward here. There was a section in the first game like this where you were kind of forced to walk around a kind of round staircase area. None of this makes any sense. If this whole area is computer programmed and it's designed to be a backstage area for Mobius agents, at what point does it logically make any sense to have anybody go up and down stairs? Like, there's no reason whatsoever. You make everything flat, you would make everything connected very easily. You would just have one round room with a whole bunch of doors that would either lead back to the main parts of the world. Yeah, or do something else. Seems like we're gonna have some kind of mold infection, which feels kind of reminiscent of the mold creatures in Control.
What the hell is this stuff?
But unfortunately, I never even really was interested enough to get into the regions where the mold creatures are most heavily prevalent in Control. Yeah. In a weird way, had they reduced the amount of conflict, let's just touch this and see if it hurts us. Nope. That was in Control, because in Control specifically, you're kind of constantly forced to walk through areas, and when you walk through an area, a new group of enemies were just randomly spawned in. Here we're walking through a lot of areas for the first time and not really seeing anything like that. This game, I think, is benefited by having some new enemies introduced in the same way that Resident Evil games, Resident Evil 4 in particular, was very benefited by the fact that you did not go very far in that storyline before you saw some new kind of enemy that was generally not even just a reskin, but a full-on improvement in fighting capability or change in behavior. Yeah. Seems like this TV might turn into something, and we might be fighting a new kind of bad guy now that's going to change reality instead of the photography bad guy who was flashing lights into our face.
Stop and listen to yourself, Myra. A secret society abducted Lily and staged her death? Do you realize how crazy that sounds?
But it's true. Why can't you understand that?
I know it's hard to accept, Myra. But she's gone. Our little girl is gone.
But I have proof.
Hmm.
Look.
Myra, you're obsessed. You need rest. Once you get past this, you'll learn to accept.
No. I'll never accept it. If you won't help me, I'll find out the truth on my own.
Myra, you were right all along.
So I wonder if that's photo slide number 2. If it is, that does really change how this thing was lined up. No, that's photo slide number 4.
Why am I seeing this now?
Because Myra is either in here or Myra is running Mobius. I vaguely recall, after playing the DLC of the first game, that it was teased and shown that actually Myra was just straight up running Mobius. Not that I assume that she gained control of it after the fact of the daughter being dead, and not before the fact. Although it's kind of hard to be 100% certain that any of the events of the first game or the second game are actually believable. We may just have a plot line that's not really getting touched on, where our main character is just an unreliable narrator and everything that's happening is just happening to him in his head, and he is just in some kind of insane asylum. That is a rather fast-moving creature. And it does kind of seem like that would probably be a boss fight. Feel kind of like I need a flamethrower. Yeah. It doesn't feel like we're gonna be safe. Interesting, it made me stand up for this animation. Well, this sure feels like a stealth mission.
Good God, look at the size of that thing. Maybe I can sneak past it.
We're gonna have to do something weird. Eh. That's not what I meant to do. Well. This will be probably our first death. Like, I don't see even a way to. Like, I don't even see a way to take this guy on. Like, it doesn't seem like anything you can do would even start to take him out. I mean, we can try a shock bolt, but I think we've just run into another sequence where you have to full on stealth, and this was kind of what sucked in the first game, and you can't skip this. This doesn't really look that spooky at the first of it. It looks like it is.
The size of that thing.
It's a mostly
Maybe I can sneak past it.
single-bodied like creature. So yeah, it saw me. That did nothing. I guess maybe you were just supposed to run across all this. Oh, come on.
I gotta get the hell out of here.
Yeah, that was a sucky experience, but it was a easy to run away from experience. I guess we can leave it at that. But it does feel like we're probably just going to get our photo snapped going through this doorway. And it doesn't seem like there's really any other options. Again, feels very much like a flamethrower option should... So 2 shots is all it really took. And I guess they just wanted to reintroduce that. Of course, almost certainly we're going to have to run through that area.
Fucking stable.
So, CEC03.
Looks like someone's enjoying the show.
Let's see. Did I miss something? Because it said hold X to lock. And I thought that would have been this. But apparently not. So there was either a humanoid
The destruction is
this
spread
way.
all the way down here too. Don't know how long this place is gonna last.
Let's look at the map. Not a lot coming from that information. Alright. So what's behind door number 1? It's locked. What's in the cabinet? Nothing. At least that was a different, very distinct and different wavelength. It really feels like maybe they only have 2 or 3 of those that they designed. Alright, emergency core displacement. It's imperative that a missing core be replaced as soon as possible. A core has been missing. Even a few hours can affect the stem programming. If the core is missing for over 36 hours, emergency protocols must be instituted to prevent the core from escaping. Emergency protocols are only acceptable for Mobius operators with half security clearance and can only be viewed on the Marrow servers. So we need to know what those protocols are. I guess the idea is that you probably want to kill the little girl, the core. Again, this doesn't make a lot of sense as far as how they thought they were going to create this wireless stim system, and this one little girl was going to be the core for all of that, and that would somehow end up being stable and helpful and healthy. Did I miss a path? No, I guess not. Alright, so through this door we go, which we assume this is the safe house. And here we see a camera setup. But weird, we haven't seen more of this.
Someone's been watching. Lily. Whoever's been here was gathering data on her.
Is it your wife?
Don't move.
You're Mobius, right?
Shut up! Don't say a word. You're not one of us.
No, I'm not. Kidman sent me. Look, I'm here to help, okay? My name is Sebastian Castellanos.
You're lying. Sebastian Castellanos is dead.
What? No. Who told you that?
Turn around. Do it slow.
It would be funny if he actually isn't Sebastian. That'd be a big twist. You don't even know who you are.
You're Yukiko Hoffman.
How do you know my name?
I told you. They sent me in here to find my daughter Lily. The core. I'm telling you the truth.
Wouldn't it be funny if
I know.
she turned out to be the wife and somehow her appearance has changed?
Lack of microexpressions and deflection. No verbal parroting. I've seen enough to know you're telling the truth.
So,
Right.
you can kind of tell this is a Japanese game in the sense that they threw in a Asian
I'll
character
use whatever tools I have to
amongst
survive.
all the white skinhead Mobius people that we've kind of seen
Combat isn't my
before.
forte.
And in the
Seems to be a running
Japanese
theme
version,
here.
his face would have been changed quite a bit to make
Sorry
him
for
look
putting my
more
gun at
Asian.
you. So they're sending independent
It's not
contractors
really
now? That
good
means things
story.
aren't improving. Have you found any other team members?
I have, but the only one I've found alive is O'Neill.
Liam is alive? Good. Has he made any progress on stabilization?
The big emitter's back on, but this place is still falling apart.
Liam's
And I
not
think it's all
doing
because of the
anything.
Psycho that kidnapped Lily. He's running loose in Union and can manipulate this place at will.
That means my theory is correct. This is more than a core disconnect. We doctors don't like to use the term psycho in pejorative terms. But in this case, it's apropos. Only a clinically diagnosed psychopath could affect STEM like this. A psychopathic personality type using Lily to amplify his power. This is the worst possible situation.
You're
Yeah.
a shrink. Any suggestions on how to defeat him?
And yet they
Psychopaths
were
are antisocial,
picking
lack empathy,
crazy
and exhibit
people
sadistic tendencies.
at first
But their
to
main
make the first
commonality
STEM
is
system.
pathologic egocentricity. They don't care about people, only themselves. Can you think of
And
anything that
they
would make
want
more
to randomly connect all
He's some
humans
sort of artist.
to a wireless
That's all
STEM
he talks
system.
about.
Then maybe the best way to attack him would be through his art. Destroying something valuable to him could knock him off of his guard.
I'll keep that in mind.
Again, we have the
Gotta get
A
to him
for
first.
next button
He's holed
instead of
himself
hold
up in
B
the
to
theater.
skip.
Right. So exit D5.
They
then.
just
It's right
apparently
here, just in the next
figured
room.
out
Let's pair communicators so
that
we
they
can stay in
changed their
touch.
mind on what
I'll
button
review
to
my
use
files
as a
and see if I
prompt.
can't dig up any more information about
Holding
what's
B
going
to
on.
skip is the
I
right
still feel like
prompt.
there's more to this. Regardless, he's probably going to be difficult to fight.
But if I hit
Feel free to
A,
help
I
yourself to
imagine it's
anything
not
you
just
like.
going to jump to the next line of dialogue. By the way, they are talking fairly fast and I'm not paying attention.
So does Lily really think I'm dead? Or was that just a part of your lie detecting test?
Sorry to break it to you, but she does. I thought it was the truth too, until just now. But over the years, I've learned to take everything Mobius tells me with a pinch of salt. It wasn't difficult to see you were telling the truth.
Why would they do that? What kind of monsters do you work for?
I know it's not right, but consider this. Lily is probably less traumatized by thinking you're dead than by thinking you're alive, but she can't be with you.
Yeah, maybe. But what will happen when I finally find her?
Don't
Yeah.
worry. She'll believe the evidence of her eyes once she sees you.
This is maybe she's Lily, grown up. Question though, why not just put him in the stim system? Like, why not put him in the stim system like way earlier than this? He could have acted as a stabilizing force to make sure Lily acts as a core. Keeping the two apart was a bad idea.
If Mobius knew to keep psychopaths out of STEM, then how did one end up in here?
I don't know. Every individual in STEM was subjected to a battery of psychological exams prior to placement. And we've been observing them from here, in secret, to keep an eye out for mental instability.
Yeah, well that didn't work.
Unfortunately, psychopathy and sociopathy are incredibly difficult to diagnose correctly. Psychopaths tend to be cunning and highly intelligent. Aware of their own diagnosis, they're able to disguise themselves among us. The fact that this one was able to fool us, he's obviously adroit and self-aware. Disturbingly so.
Great. So the tests only
That's
filter
a
out the
funny-
weakest of psychos.
I feel
Her hair's
terribly responsible for all of this.
shifting quite a lot. She's shaking her head
I
quite a
helped
bit.
devise those tests.
So, yeah, they knew it was incredibly difficult to detect psychopaths, yet they still went forward with this. It really just reeks of hubris on Mobius's part and just ignorance in general, thinking that this plan would work. And I guess if anything, there might be a good logical reason why there isn't a third game in this series, and the fact that even canonically in the story, it would be ridiculous if Mobius yet again created a stim system. And you wouldn't have had to do too much to really change this, because if the stim system was already released, if the cat was out of the bag, as it were, after the first game, why not just have this psychopath create his own stim system and kidnap and put a bunch of people in it instead of Mobius? Why not just drop the conspiracy element, which went nowhere in the first game really, and have Mobius bring him in maybe to clean up their own mess and hide their involvement in the first Beacon Hospital event?
You said you think there's something more to this?
I studied the Beacon incident extensively so that we could avoid another disaster like that. In that case, the person in question was the core. But even then, the environment remained relatively intact. Something just doesn't seem right here.
What do you mean?
The creatures in here. The dissolution of Union. The total breakdown in communication with Mobius. It just seems like a lot for one person. Even with the power of the core.
He mentioned someone before. Another person who wanted the core's power.
That could mean... No. It's too horrible to contemplate.
What?
There's only one thing that could be more powerful than a psychopath in here. But I need to do some research before I can commit to the theory.
2 psychopaths? Or some kind of like lucid dreamer type character? Or a psychic? Be weird for them to throw in yet another sci-fi element and have psychics. 2 psychopaths probably would be quite the mess if you had them mentally connected. Alright, let's just pick up all these syringes. This is like the first time ever that it actually has been helpful to be able to collect all of this stuff. And let's see. What's this? This is a file. The ideal core candidate must have unfettered ego in order to retain their own personality while supporting the interlinked minds of others. Unfettered. I don't know what that would mean in this scenario. An unfettered ego. Given these parameters, there are only 2 possible candidates. Egomaniacs with psychopathic tendencies, or children. I guess maybe that's the general idea, and maybe they're making a bit of a joke here, saying children are egomaniacs with psychopathic tendencies. We all know what happened last time an egomaniac with psychopathic tendency was in STEM, so a child has to be our best bet. So, yeah. Okay, I guess that sort of makes sense. That they wouldn't want the personality of the core to dissolve. The little effect of the glass breaking and all of that is nice, but it doesn't really do anything. Let's go over here. And let's see what this new one is. Apparently we can talk to Kidman about this stuff.
Still up, Kidman?
No rest for the wicked.
Now we have hold B to skip, but also an A button that says next.
The fire.
Lily wasn't killed in the fire. You know this now.
Tell that to my brain. Tell that to the nightmares I've been having for years. Why did they take her? Out of all the little girls in the world, why mine?
It has been years, apparently.
Mobius took Lily long before I joined them. I know you don't believe in coincidences. Maybe you see a pattern because you want to. You know that some crimes just happen. There's no real reason for it. Just the wrong person at the wrong place at the wrong time.
No. I refuse to believe that.
Regardless, the fire is a memory that you need to purge, Sebastian. It wasn't your fault that it happened, and you didn't lose Lily because of it. Try to remember that.
See, so it does kind of seem like you accidentally started the fire. It does seem like it's been years. So Lily probably could be very old.
The first time I saw Myra, she was wearing that uniform. I think I fell in love with her right then and there. I didn't want to admit it to myself. But after she was injured on duty, I knew I couldn't risk not telling her how I felt. She was such a great wife and mother that I sometimes forget she was a great detective too. She was right. She knew there was something fishy about Lily's death. I mean, kidnapping. I should have believed her from the start.
There's no way you could have predicted the truth, Sebastian. You know this.
See, it kind of really does seem like Kidman is just giving you some kind of talk therapy in those sequences, which does just make it feel more like this is all happening in his head. Let's see. So she apparently won't die quite yet. Do I really want to read all of this though? Not really. Yeah, so we pretend like we read it all. We haven't found any other of the weird collectibles. And we've got some green goo. So you get about 700 green goo from the cat when you do a memory. And how much green goo would that give me? About 20,000. It's probably not worth my time to go look at that, but we'll see. Anyways, handgun getting upgraded still would be a nice idea. Shotgun getting upgraded would be a nice idea too. Sniper rifle we don't use enough to really justify upgrading. The range on the crossbow seems like it's fine. Fire rate, I mean, we could upgrade that. And I think that's about all we really can do and need to do. Didn't really need to craft that, but whatever. We'll make one shock bolt. And probably still smart enough to make some handgun ammo. I don't think we're gonna have any keys.
You just can't stay away from me, can you?
Yeah, I need to quit. They put this in the wrong place, don't they? Like, had you always started here, then it would have been obvious to take this health pack first, and instead of crafting it.
You're getting powerful, but this place is dangerous and getting worse.
These prompts
There's no shame in using stealth now and again.
are
And
pretty
I can help you with
consistent.
that.
Okay, this would be 20,000 time. Shooting is increased with each consecutive shot. This ends when your time runs out. So do I want to upgrade that? Or do I want to increase my low profile since we got more of that? I kind of do want to start speeding up the stealth stuff, but I don't think so. I think the right move is to do this and then do this. So now when I do 2 or 3 shots, it theoretically would do more damage, and we still need like 75 gel, so we probably won't have that until we have a huge amount of gel from some boss fight. Alright, and then back through here. I don't think the shooting gallery is gonna unlock anything new ever. And for safety's sake, let's go ahead and make a save. Just in case the game decides to crash in the middle of gameplay instead of the 2 or 3 times it has crashed when being paused. Interesting. Did I walk out the wrong door? Apparently. And that's funny. He turns a key and locks the door to kind of lock her in here and protect her, but then he doesn't use a key to in any way unlock the door. Which, that's illogical. Grab some more smoke powder in this case. How are we with items in general? We have plenty of gunpowder, plenty of things to make medical syringes, and then fairly few things to create crossbow bolts, which I don't find that super surprising. Yeah, this game does not really allow for you to recover the crossbow bolts, and as such it really wouldn't allow you to play with the crossbow as easily as it seemed like you might be able to do it. Yeah, it does kind of seem like if they wanted that to be the weapon of the game that people would use all the time, there should be a great reward in silent stealth kills with the crossbow, and on top of that, just a returning of all your bolts if you go and get them. Interesting. I can't pull a gun in here. Okay. And yeah, it might really be a case. There was these kind of newspapers in the first game. And these newspapers are all the newspapers showing off the fire. Man, they really didn't have a good system here. As far as using the arrows to go from one safe room to another safe room. You can see he's locking the door. I have a resonance point. Can we see what the map looks like? Well, to my eyes, it's another area now labeled as the business district. That seems like it could be maybe as big as the city hall area. It does kind of feel like we are just rushing through all of this. Yeah, the gas mask on too. And that doesn't really make sense in this case. But yeah, I'm not wrong. Most of these people, white guys, shaved heads, military, and then the one Asian doctor lady. So he had a gun. Seems kind of silly to potentially waste your time waiting for a key when you could.
All right, the theater. I'm coming for you.
When you could just shoot. Like it does seem like you could shoot a bullet into a lock and break the lock in the same way that you could do that in reality. Alright. So we've got one character over here in a train. And it seems like you are usually rewarded fairly well if you look around the edges. I guess not so much this time. So we go down that path, and that maybe makes us. Let's see, if we went down this path, that probably doesn't take us to where we want to go. And seems like the theater is the easier, shorter distance, so I guess we just need to run towards the theater. Seeing more recycling bins instead of trash cans. This is a post office. So all of the government buildings seem to be somewhat related. It seems like you could get over on the other side of this, but the game doesn't really want to let me. So this seems like they just put an invisible wall here. So yeah, I'm not sure. We definitely know that the action in this game is it's not as well programmed as I would like it to be, and unless this at some point does become a game where we merge all of the districts into one big world, it doesn't seem like this is going to be the greatest of experience. It's still very linear. It's almost, and I often throw this out as a way I understand that games are made, is that you'll have a publisher and they'll negotiate concrete metrics. It almost feels like in this case they negotiated to have open world element, as it were. Notice it's about to rain, which means the weather is getting even worse. Instead of negotiating for just a linear experience, which I would have been much happier with a linear experience, and it does seem to me like they would have been happier with a linear experience. Now this may very well have been that Bethesda demanded a open world experience and nobody was on board with that. So here we have a ballerina balancing the scales, and we have, I can't even see really. Let's see if I turn that on, turn that off. The textures just look horrible. The focus just seems to change. See, I think this is the headless woman we fought before. So I think the general idea is that this psychopath maybe only killed one of his models and that was it.
What the hell are these things about? Damn it. Lily's inside there.
So to me it feels like this is telling me there's two bosses I have to defeat.
You did not appreciate my beautiful Obscurus performance. Perhaps this one is more to your liking. Listen.
No! Somebody help me!
I'm preparing my greatest work yet. But you are not worthy enough to witness it. Not until you learn to respect my art. Listen to their screams. The echoes of my work.
Okay.
Respect art, huh? Time to put Hoffman's theory to the test.
I wonder if this is the general idea that they're trying to do, is that they're trying to send out this message. So when we lock onto that, we now see that that is over here. Lust for art. Now, if I was to lock onto this one, that shows us that there's one over here too. So we've got to fight two sub-bosses. John's Cafe. Let's see. Decent number of humans there, but not seeing any zombie creatures. Yeah, there's not really... Alright, this could turn into a problem. I need that reload enabled on the shotguns, clearly. Alright. And might as well use a syringe. So it does seem like we will just have zombies opting to spawn when we reach certain areas. And that does knock us back. So we'll have to be careful around that also. And yeah, seems kind of just like it's going to be a little bit more of the same. That this whole section is blocked off, so I assume there's no way to do this. We've really not been seeing any collectibles or things like that in cars too often. Cars are just a thing. Just yet another thing that is in the game, seemingly for little reason. I think I could potentially go through a chain here. Nope, it's not going to let me climb on that car, which is going to stop me from being able to climb on any of the other cars. And seems like I could have probably also zoom, aim, fire. Somewhere over here is a weapon, if we're in the right place. Yeah. Somewhere over here is a weapon we may need a key to unlock.
Sounds like someone's in trouble.
Do we want to go save them? Do we care about Mobius agents? Really? Or would we prefer to? Another pouch for shotgun shells. How far are we? Like, we're about to hit that area. So I don't want to hit that area in this episode since we're about to wrap up. So we'll work our way around. Okay.
Damn, he's gonna get mobbed.
I'm also seeing a new monster over there.
can get the jump on them.
Hey, you over there! You gotta help me! Come on, man! I know you can hear me! Help me out!
Man, I really need to not have the stim packs anywhere, don't I? Doesn't really seem like it matters where I put them. Alright, well. It seems to me like he could potentially die.
Hey, there's more of them! They're coming from over there!
Alright, well. Yeah, this shotgun is just useless. Alright. Oh man. They got a new throwdown attack too.
That was the last of them.
Alright, well. These guys suck.
You just saved my ass. I didn't
And then
think
it
anyone would
forces you into a
You're from
cutscene.
the search team. How did you end up here?
I was looking for something.
Well, very quickly.
And what would that be?
Look, it's dangerous out here. Come to my safe house so we can talk.
Lead the way.
Come on.
Oh yeah, I'm not going anywhere without picking up all of this stuff. No way am I leaving all this green goo behind. And clearly they didn't really want to give you enough time to collect it all while taking on these large groups of zombies. Yeah, it seems like... Is there anybody else around here? Not really getting a lot of green goo out of this. And I am just gonna have to craft more stuff. I think fairly quickly. Refill my bullets. I guess we need higher ammo capacity and higher reload as far as the shotgun is concerned to try to make it even slightly useful. It really is a just absolutely worthless weapon. Alright. And I have bottles, don't I? Like, I would have thought I would have had bottles. So why I didn't use a smash bottle on that zombie, I don't know.
Come on in. They can't get in here.
Why is that
Thanks
the
for helping me
case?
out. I'm Sykes.
Sebastian Castellanos.
Castellanos, huh? I've heard of you. You survived the beacon incident, right?
How do you know that?
I'm a STEM programmer, but I've got other skills too, like hacking information systems. I know all kinds of things that nobody else knows, not even other members of the team.
Then you know who Lily is.
Yeah. We're all trying to find her. Haven't had any luck though. That's why you're here, huh?
That's right. But if you can't help me with that, then we've got nothing else to discuss. Good luck.
Hey, hold on. We might still be able to help each other out.
This better be good.
Look, There's a bunch of stuff in here that you could probably use, and you can have it for saving me out there. You want to hear my proposal? Come on back to me.
Okay. So, start with the coffee. Why do it this way instead of just having you heal automatically when you enter a safe room? Like, clearly the developers of the game just really like coffee and wanted to impress that on the player, as if it is such a groundbreaking new thought that people like coffee. And see, we don't even have enough room for that. And let's go ahead and open that. And this is locked, so that must be a gun thing. Let's see. Load this gun. Load this gun. Load this game. And unlike the Resident Evil series, it really doesn't feel like it's super useful to not load your guns in hopes that you could upgrade the capacity of your gun and get one more collection of something. Yeah. And this really does look like you could just climb right over this wall. So, alright. There's no workbench, seems like, in this area. Which is fine, because I guess we could go back and use the other workbench if it really mattered. Or if it becomes a huge issue. We have plenty of gunpowder. We really could just craft a ton of handgun bullets and an occasional sniper rifle bullet.
Alright, I'm all ears. How can we help each other?
I need you to restore the server inside the mirror. It should be easy enough as long as none of those freaks are around. Here's where it's located.
Okay.
Hold on, I haven't agreed to anything yet.
He just tells you and that magically shows up on your...
I can open up all the locked supply caches for you.
And what's in it for you?
If you get the server on, I may be able to find another way out of Union.
There's really a way to get out of Union?
I'm not 100% sure, but I'm sure as hell gonna give it a try. They've lost contact with STEM. We're totally cut off. If we don't find the core, we're all gonna die in here. Unless I can figure a way out.
How is that possible?
You really want me to waste your time talking a bunch of technical gibberish?
No. So, if he gets us out of Union, does he get us inside somebody else's STEM server? Do we end up back at Beacon?
All I have to do is turn it on. How did the server go offline in the first place?
All I'm saying is if you turn on that server, I can give it a shot. Look at this place. It's breaking apart out there. I'm surprised anything is working. But then again, Mobius probably turned it off themselves. They've got all kinds of emergency protocols in place.
And you're questioning the almighty Mobius?
Hey, I don't mind being a grunt. But the moment I become expendable, well, that's when I start to look for the exit door. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
So, you gonna help me out or not?
So, apparently there's a bunch more of these locked supply.
I could get it open if you're willing to help.
So we have not seen any of those before. So it feels a little weird. And it seems like at some point we will probably need to go back this direction. And when we go back to that direction, I don't know. See, that's the weird thing is, from the looks of it, if we were to go back this way and walk through all of this, then we'd have to do a lot more walking. I really think there's a decent chance we'll just skip that side mission completely in favor of just moving the story forward. We still have a decent number of things that are getting marked as not having been seen. Yeah, and have we died even once? Yeah, we died once against that one zombie. The big goo creature. So, yeah. We've got to take out this. We've got to take out this. It maybe will give us a gun that would help us go over here, but you can pretty much tell that this area is pretty short and sweet, and this area was pretty short and sweet. It does really feel like the whole game is pretty much just a linear experience after this section. This section tried to do something slightly interesting. We found no new markers for fallen Mobius operatives. We have found some fallen Mobius operatives, and we really haven't seen a great explanation that would, say, connect this long path to this shorter section. Yeah, and I don't really think that there is. By the looks of it, we may very well only see one more area, which means we may very well only see one more act. It puts us in a weird position because it definitely does feel like we would have more guns. It feels like we'd have 2 more guns, almost certainly. Med kits. We can't even ever use the med kits in a reasonable amount of time because it's just not something I'd ever map to a controller. Anyways, is there a save file? Let's come over here and just make sure we've saved. We may have just saved. Save slot 10 apparently is the maximum save slots you can have. I have no idea why that would be the case, but alright. Then we'll overwrite save slot 3. I guess. Might as well. Chapter 3 must have been fairly long, and Chapter 4 seemed to be fairly long. Yeah, so you only have 10 save slots. That's just insanity. I have plenty of room on my hard drive to have as many save slots as I'd possibly want. Yeah, it really does just feel like a game that's going nowhere. When I think about how much I liked Resident Evil 4 and if it would just run smoothly on my Windows 10 install right now, I'd probably play Resident Evil 4 and show it off. But every section in that game seemed to drag you forward and give you a new twist and throw new enemies at you, throw new environments at you. You never got bored in Resident Evil 4. I'm constantly on the verge of being bored in this game. They're really not doing anything for us. And even if I was trying to look at this as kind of more of an Asian horror shooter game, and I was trying to look at it from that perspective where some of the like single A indie Asian horror games might exist, I really don't still feel like that's showing us enough. Like we don't see enough spooks. We don't see enough jump scares. And the story, of course, is just as generic as can be. Like it is really weird that this game seems to be 2 or 3 steps worse than its predecessor. It does just feel rushed out. And I don't know, perhaps if this was just content that was left on the cutting room floor from the first game, just so be it. The first game, if I recall correctly, was incredibly long, and that'll be rather frustrating if this game turned out to be incredibly long. But I don't think it is. I think it's going to be actually incredibly short. And these elements and these ideas very easily should have just been left on the cutting room floor, or split up and put into 2 separate games. A generic open world zombie shooter game not called The Evil Within 2 would have been fine if there had been a lot more zombies and it had been a lot more action-y. Or a linear horror game that was the sequel to The Evil Within 1 would have been fine, but it just needed to be more polished, more linear, more enemies slightly, more story by quite a bit. Yeah, just kind of a little bit of everything. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend to follow me on any social media sites, there's a bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.